Okay, Grandma. Can you hear us? Okay, so.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, dear.
Okay.
All right, so this is Catherine Cosby. The date is February 26, 2022, 2:27 p.m. And
is anybody here cold? Anybody else cold?
This is not gonna take long, Mom, okay?
Alright. If ever that, I'm freezing.
All right, we just wanted to have a conversation with you, find out more of who you are, where you come from, so we can better understand who we are and where we come from. Right? So we're just going to have the conversation. I got a few questions for you, and I just want you to answer as best as you can remember.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So I want to start out with something simple. How about you just tell us how you met Papa?
It wasn't an act of actually meeting everybody home around the same place. You know, everybody knew everybody. Yeah.
Where was that at?
Around 39th and King Drive.
Oh, okay. So, you were born and raised in Chicago.
Yes.
Okay. You were around for a lot of kind of major historical events like the assassination of Dr. King and
The who?
the assassination of Dr. King.
Yeah.
What was it like? I know there's a difference growing up in Chicago as opposed to growing up in the South dealing with racism. Have you had to deal with any type of racism growing up in Chicago?
Not so you'd notice.
Not noticed?
Not so you would notice.
Really?
Yes, it's always there, but you know you have to. You know, you're used to it. Period.
So nothing like blatant directly towards you.
No.
But you were aware of the type of climate it was.
Yeah.
Well, how could you tell?
How could you, were you just kind of numb to the racism or you just?
Like I said, it's something that's natural thing. You know, as you would say. It's just a natural thing. It's there. Always.
So how about like, when you heard that Dr. King was assassinated, where were you? How did that make you feel?
Well, I had been expecting it.
Oh.
After he made that big speech, I knew that was his death call right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it happened, you weren't surprised?
No, I was not surprised.
Do you remember what the climate, the tone was like around your family when it happened?
I don't remember.
No?
No. Everybody's in shock, you know, that it actually happened, but it was so out there.
So, speaking of your family, tell us about your parents.
What about?
What were they like?
Were they who?
What were they like? Where did they come from?
Were they from Mississippi?
Okay.
Yeah, Southern people.
And why did they come up to Chicago?
To better their lives.
What did your dad do for work?
He worked at the stockyard, Wilson Stockyard.
Okay. How about your mom? Did she work or?
No.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
It was 7 of us all together.
Okay. What was it like growing up with 7 or 6 brothers and sisters?
Well, like I said, it was something just happened.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't put a name to it. It was just there. Just everyday thing.
Do you feel like you grew up kind of well off, or was there struggle, or?
No, we always struggling.
No struggle. Okay. Did you, I hear a lot of people say when they were growing up, quote unquote poor, they didn't really realize they were poor.
That's true.
Did you? So you didn't really realize?
No, everybody I knew was in the same situation as I was in.
So it didn't really affect you
No.
one way or the other?
No.
Okay. Now, when you got married, did you work or were you just stay-at-home mom or?
Well, when I first got married and I worked, then I started having children. And then I definitely became a stay-at-home mom.
After the first kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Was that your choice, or was that just kind of how it was then? Like,
That's just how it was.
Yeah.
You know.
and you were content with that? Just being a stay-at-home mom?
Of course.
You didn't want to go back to work?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the idea of wanting to go back to start having children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we weren't like these modern day parents.
Okay.
You know, when you start having children, you stay home and took care of your children.
Okay. So modern day parents, how do you feel about women going back to work now when they have kids at home?
If I what?
How do you feel about women today going back to work when they have children?
Well, I don't know. It's according to how the women react to that. You know, some of them, it makes it work, and others disregard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that you were pretty happy to be a parent, a mother,
Oh, yes.
and a grandparent.
Oh, very, very, very. And a great-grandparent.
And a great-grandparent. What would you say the best part of being a parent and a grandparent?
Well, I love children,
Okay.
one thing. So as long as they were around and, you know, I could totally kiss on them, you know, I was very happy.
And then you can always send the grandkids back home to their parents, right?
The who?
You can send the grandkids back home to their parents, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So let's go back. If you have one, what would you say is your favorite decade in your life?
Well, I can't even say that.
Never really
Well,
thought.
after I got married, I guess. After I got married, I was happy.
Okay. That's interesting.
So, do you remember the 70s,
No.
Do you remember like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s?
Do you remember the 50s, 60s, or 70s? Anything specific about any of those decades?
Just the fact of having children, you know, raising kids, making sure they were doing right, you know, getting good grades in schools. They were good. I had some good children. None of them was ever in trouble or anything.
Were they never in trouble, or they never got caught?
No, they were never in trouble.
Okay.
No, I had some nice kids.
All right.
You still do.
Yeah.
What would you say is your fondest memory of your marriage?
What of my marriage?
Yes.
Well, I guess being in love, I guess, and
Okay.
having children. You know, we were together.
Okay.
You know,
And how about just the fondest memory of being a parent? Your fondest memory of being a parent?
well, like I said, I had some good children. My children were bad. They weren't bad in school. You know, so it was really a nice time. I didn't have any problems with them, anything.
Is there a different feeling of when you first became a parent compared to when you first became a grandparent?
Yes, it's definitely a good feeling. Because with the grandchildren, all you had to do with them was just hug them and love them. But you know, you don't have to worry about raising them per se.
Right.
But with your own children, naturally, everything they did, you had to be aware of and make sure, you know, they grew up right.
Mm-hmm.
But with my grandkids, like I said, all I had to do was let them was hug and kiss them.
Would you say there's a lot of worry associated with being a parent?
Always.
Yeah.
Always temptations around.
Uh-huh.
You just got to be on the toes and watch your children and, you know, make sure they associated with the right type of people, with the school, and, you know, just being careful.
Okay. Was there, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want, was there any of your children who made you worry more than the rest?
No,
Really?
no.
Really?
I didn't have any problem children.
Okay.
I really didn't.
But not necessarily problems. Just like you said, you worry about who they hang out around.
Oh yeah, well I was
So
very careful, looking after my children.
Okay.
Like I said, none of them ever wound up being in trouble or anything. So.
Do you feel like, I know you have a lot of grandchildren. You have a lot of grandchildren.
Yes.
Is there any grandchild that made you worry more than any of the others?
None that I can think
No?
of.
She just don't want to say
I think you're being politically correct. I think you're being politically correct.
Yeah, well, like I said, none of them, as far as I know, have ever been in trouble. No, nobody except, being black was one problem. Men had, they go walking down the street and they get arrested just for being black.
Yeah.
So none of them have ever gone to jail for anything.
So speaking about walking while black, did you worry about that much for your brothers when you're growing up in the city?
I didn't worry about it. But it was always there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something they couldn't help either.
Yeah, you can't help being born black.
Yeah, but like I said, something. If you're walking down the street, you can be pulled over or stopped or patted down. That's because you're black.
So here's something I want to ask you. What is something you feel like you will most want people to remember about you?
Oh, I hope that they love me. I don't care if I was their grandmother, I was a person that they would like. They'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told once that you've never made an enemy. I've been told once before that you have never made an enemy.
An enemy?
Yes.
I hope not.
Would you say that's accurate?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So you love everybody, you cordial with everyone.
Yeah.
And I also hear that when you're raising your kids at 4120, a lot of the other kids and everything kind of called you that grandmother and kind of watched after them also.
Yeah.
What do you think makes you that type of person?
I honestly could tell you, not being vain. I hope because I'm a nice person.
Okay.
And I love them.
You love all the kids, the ones that weren't even yours.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the kids call me Grandma Cosby.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't call me Mrs. Cosby. They call me Grandma Cosby.
Oh, Mama Cosby. Mama Cosby.
Huh?
Mama Cosby.
What?
They call you Mama Cosby also.
Mama Cosby, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
So, Grandma, can you tell us more about your family and your siblings? How many siblings did you have?
I had 6.
Okay, can you tell us their names? Can you tell us their names?
Well, I had Ellie and Anna, Council Jr., Jerome, Jerry brother, Charles, and who else?
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Who else?
That was it, right? Was it?
That was yeah.
That was 6.
Yeah, Bunch is Anna, right?
But yeah.
Anna. Okay, yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
So how did you feel growing up with them? Were you the oldest or you the youngest?
Being what?
I said, were you the oldest or the youngest?
I was almost the middle. I was the 3rd child.
Okay, and how was it living with your brothers and sisters?
Well, as a rule, so far, so it was all right.
How many bedrooms was there? 2 bedrooms, or you're all in 1 bedroom?
No, we didn't have such things. That was the good old days.
So you and your siblings were kind of in the same room?
And who?
You and your siblings were kind of in the same bedroom?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did y'all go to the same school?
Yeah, we all went there. Well, we all went to St. Elizabeth. When we got, my older sister got into high school, she went to start going to Phillips because she didn't want to go to St. Elizabeth High School. So we separated after
St.
that.
Elizabeth. And St. Elizabeth.
So you wanted your kids to go to those same schools.
My hope.
You wanted your kids to go to those same schools.
Oh yeah.
And all of them went to the same Phillips and St. Elizabeth.
Let me see. You did you? You went to St. Elizabeth?
Yeah. We all graduated from St. Elizabeth.
Alan was going to public school for a while, and the teacher was misusing him. He was only in 3rd grade, and she was giving him using for conduct. She said he did his work ahead of everybody else. He finished his work, and she wouldn't give him any extra work. She said she didn't have time. Now, what is a 8-year-old child supposed to do? You know. So that day, I went over there and transferred them over to St. Elizabeth, and it was never a problem again.
So I'm gonna roll back to you say none of your kids were ever in trouble.
Never.
But now this kid was getting used for misconduct in school.
It wasn't actually being bad.
Okay.
He just didn't have anything to do. And she wouldn't give him anything to do.
Okay. So it was the teacher's fault. That's a mother's love. So it was the teacher's fault.
That was,
Yeah.
you know, really and truly, that was the
I love her.
What was a 3rd grade child supposed to do?
Well, they need.
She said herself, he finished his work ahead of everybody else. And instead of her even giving him some punishment to do anything, you know, he was being a child. And she wanted to give him a U in conduct for that. And I thought that was very unfair.
So let me ask you, did you have certain expectations for your kids?
Well, just don't get in any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't worried about them not going to school or anything. You know, that's something we never had to worry about. They all went to school, graduated high school.
Who was more of the disciplinarian, you or Papa?
I don't know. What would you say? Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess since I was around them more than he was, since he had to work, you know, I guess it had to be me.
Can I interject? But when she got to a point that she was so fed up, she let him have a chance at us. So, well, the boys, not the girls. He didn't whoop his daughters, but he whooped us. So.
What did you say?
I said that, you know, he whooped us, the boys. He whooped Devin and Sharon and the soup. I don't remember him whooping his daughters. He whooped his boys, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they weren't acting. They didn't act like you all. You know, they did not act like you all.
So while we're on the subject of your kids, can you tell us the names of your kids?
Well, there was my children. Wow, ain't that something? I had to think about it. I said Alan, Stephen, Paul, Susan, Jennifer, Sharon, Alan, Russell.
There you go.
Russell.
Right.
Wow. Wow. I had a bunch of kids.
And they're all gonna see this video.
Yeah.
So Grandma, how was it with having? How old were you when you had your first kid?
Oh, about 19 or 20. About 19.
And how old were you when you got married?
I had to be about 20.
20.
Yeah, 19.
Oh.
Having a good time.
Oh.
So,
No, I don't remember.
Oh.
I know it was after after I got married. I tell you that.
No, that's not what you just said.
So what?
Well, that's the,
I know.
Well,
I know.
your grandfather's crazy.
Was there a wedding or was it courthouse or?
I guess we went downtown to get married.
Okay.
Then we went to the church.
Did your parents know about it?
Of course.
Okay. Was there like a big party after? Or?
No, we just got married. You know, it wasn't no big thing. People get married there. You know, some people had money, some people didn't have money, but.
And how long were you married?
Oh, till death did us part.
That's long enough. That's how it should be.
Wow.
Till death did us part.
That was a very profound statement, wasn't it? Well,
that hurt my soul.
So
Grandma,
Yes,
as a woman having kids at an early age of 19, 20, well, at age 19 or 20, do you feel that you missed out on life?
No, see, back then, we aren't like these kids nowadays. You know, they want to do everything at one time. But when you got a certain age, you got married. No, that was it. That's how it was.
I'm gonna maybe pull at your heartstrings a little bit, but I would like to know, what do you miss most about Papa?
Everything.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know that it was love at first sight?
It wasn't. Like I said, it wasn't. You know, everybody knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't no, I met this person, such and such a place, blah, blah, blah. Everybody just knew everybody.
Well, tell us, if you can remember, how did the courtship or the dating, how did that part start?
He asked me to go to the movies.
Okay.
We went to the Met show. And that's how it started, you know.
Do you remember how much the movie cost then? No.
Probably about maybe $1 or something.
Okay.
Less than $1.
Yeah. So after that first date, was it pretty much from then on, you're like, this is the one, or did you have to grow on you a little bit?
Bro.
Okay.
Like I said, everybody knew everybody, you know. Nobody just said, this is such and such a person, you know. Everybody knew everybody.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets over any course of your life?
No.
None.
No.
You got anything?
Let's see. So, I know this is kind of like a conclusion. I know this is. Okay, so I know this is kind of like a conclusion-like question.
Talk about it.
I said this question is kind of like a conclusion-like question, but what is something that you would want to say to all of us?
To all of who?
To all of us, to all of your kids, your grandkids, great-grandchildren. What is something that you want us?
I'm happy that you are mine. Very happy that you are mine. But I would trade you for anything. And none of it. Even out.
He's the problem one. He's the problem one.
Do you have any advice for us on how to tackle life at all?
Well, just don't get into any trouble.
Okay.
Just live your life. Don't get into any trouble. Don't cause any hardship among anybody. You know, treat people the way you want to be treated.
All right.
So, dear mother of mine,
What?
how did you feel when one of your children left the
When they what?
when one of your children left the roost, and how did that make you feel?
How did they what?
Make you feel when your first of your children left home?
It was a normal thing, you know. When they grow up, they get married, you know. just go on with their own lives. You know, it's a natural thing.
So it was a natural thing when I went to the service?
Yeah, it's a natural thing for kids grow up, get married, or just want to be by themselves or everything, you know. Nobody ever left the state or anything like that, but I don't think, did they?
When I went to the service.
Oh, well, that was heartbreaking right there. That was heartbreaking.
What?
The idea of you going away. You know, you know what? He didn't even tell me he was going.
Oh,
The day that he had his friend down the hall, they both signed up together. And I did not know he was going until I looked out the window. He had one of his clothes. He didn't even tell me.
so the same kid that was getting in trouble in 3rd grade grew up to be the kid that didn't tell you he was leaving the country.
He
Because I
gonna
knew what
rub
her reaction
that in.
was. She was boo-hooing her butt off. When I left.
Your own child.
I knew what her reaction was going to be. That's why.
Oh.
But the point of this, like I said, we want to just better understand you so we can better understand who we are. But we can't tell you enough how much we love you and how much we're happy to be yours. Because I can't remember at any point you treating any of us any differently. You loved us the same, and we appreciate that. And we can't show you enough the love we have for you.
And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Photobomb.
And we thank you for doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.